I don't think it's doing anything here.
It's not blinking red. It looks like, oh.
There's nothing on the screen.
Turn it around. Turn it around. Look at the backside. Move my license.
That'll do it. Probably be a big picture of my grinning face on there.
Okay, you guys ready?
Yeah,
You're ready. Woohoo!
Cool.
Yeah, it's a musket.
All right, now where'd I hit it?
Hi, my name's Brandon. Come join me in my kitchen while I try and make a black powder patch lube called Snot. I've never made this before, and in fact I'm new to black powder. So if you have made this before, please watch and tell me if I got it right and leave me a message in the comments below.
Alright, this recipe comes from the internet and it calls for beeswax, castor oil, and this Murphy's oil soap. And I'm using olive oil instead of castor oil because that's what I had. And if you Google this, you can find out the quantities. It's I believe it's 2 parts beeswax, 1 part Murphy's oil, and 8 parts castor oil or olive oil. Here it's been 10 minutes and my double boiler has boiled or melted rather, the beeswax. And I reckon I've got 4 parts of, or at least 4 teaspoons worth of beeswax. So I need to double my recipe here because at first I was just estimating 2 parts beeswax. So I'm going to double my recipe. I'm going to put in 16 tablespoons of olive oil, 2 tablespoons of Murphy's oil, and 4 tablespoons of beeswax. The recipe is listed in ounces, but I wasn't really sure. I don't think I have anything measured ounces that I know of, so I'm just going by tablespoons. Really, it should be scalable, so whatever measuring method you use as long as you keep it the same, it should be fine. So here I'm just doubling up my recipe. I put in the olive oil, and now I'm adding more of the Murphy soap. So the wax is hot, and at this point you're supposed to mix the 2 oils in another container, and you're going to be adding the beeswax to this container. So I'm just going to stir up the oil real quick, and I'm going to put that in my boiler. Now since my pan is big enough, I can put both in at the same time, so I can keep them both hot until I pour in the wax. So that goes in there, and of course that little can is hot, so I'm going to need my multi-tool here to hold it. And I'm going to warm up my teaspoon so the wax doesn't stick to it. That water is just about boiling, if not boiling. Well, it doesn't look like it's boiling, does it? But it's pretty hot. Oh, and I forgot that I don't want to get water in this, so let me get my rag and wipe that down so I'm not pouring water into the oil. There we go. Alright. We got 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I thought I edited this pretty well, but I can already tell that I probably should have cut out even more. But you can watch me as I go along. I had a second thought. I thought I might add the rest of my wax there, but I thought, no, just for safety's sake, I'll keep it to the right proportions. So now that wax is cooling down pretty quick, because that oil is not, even though I put it in the boiler, it's not as hot. So you're supposed to kind of warm this up together and stir it as you do it. And so that's what I'm doing. And I think I stir this for a few minutes. I'll try and warm it up there a little bit. I stir this for a few minutes, but I think I come back a few minutes later and stir until it's thoroughly mixed in. And here I'm just checking the directions. I got this recipe on castbullets.com. So you guys can, but if you Google it, it comes up, so you can find the recipe. And this is just me checking the recipe here. What am I supposed to do next? So I'm supposed to wait until the sludge appears and then scrape that off. And so it's been a few minutes, been about 10 more minutes since I added the wax. And here I don't know if this is, I mean, it looks like kind of like wax to me. So this is where my confusion comes in, is I don't know if I should heat this more and try and melt that in, or if that's the sludge that comes off. But I opted to scrape it off, and so I'm just scraping this stuff off into a bag. It actually took me a few minutes, and I removed quite a bit of the liquid part below it, but there's still plenty in there. So I put it in a bag. I can throw that away if I decide that that's just waste. And then you remove it from the heat. And this recipe calls for another tablespoon of Murphy's oil. Now the tablespoon is relative to the original recipe, which was in ounces. So I'm going by this little. This is probably about a teaspoon's worth, because I reckon my batch is smaller than the original recipe. So just a little bit more of the oil, and you're supposed to mix that in and whip it up, and it's supposed to froth it up, I suppose. But I didn't really see it get frothy. It certainly mixed in with the rest of the stuff and kind of, you know, changed the color. So here it's been a half an hour. So the whole cooking time took 30 minutes, and you're supposed to let it cool for 30 minutes. So my next step is to get my patches ready. So while that's cooling, these are my old patches. This is what came with the guy who built my gun for me. He gave me these, and this 103 lube's not available anymore. He's an old timer. He's had it for a while, and he still has some. So I need to make a new lube, and that's what this is about. So I opted for this recipe, and this is some linen for my 50 cal. I shoot 490 ball and 12 thousandths linen. And I need to wax that up. So that's about the right size. So here I've started scraping some of the wax that's cooled already, and I'm just kind of applying it to the rag. And I don't really know how to do this, but I figure smear it on there, get it on there real good. These patches turned out really lubed when I applied the lube to the whole section. So I'm going to cut them into the right size squares, and so that they're not so lubed up, what I'm going to do is I'm take some more linen that hasn't been lubed, and I'm going to like layer them one on top of another, so that there's a patch of lube and a dry patch of linen. And then I'm going to put them back in the tin and heat it up a little bit, so that the lube from the lubed patches gets on the dry patches, and it kind of evens it out. And that was kind of suggested to me, not exactly that way, but to heat it up and even them out, either in the sun, or I'm going to use the stove top. And it ended up working pretty good. I had to go back and still add some more lube afterwards, but they all got evenly lubed, and it did work pretty well. So here I'm just stacking. That's my stack, my sandwich of lubed and unlubed, and I put it in my tin. And now I'm going to take this over to the stove. It's been an hour. That lube should be cool, or cool enough anyway. It's getting there. And this stuff is greasy, so I think I made it right. There's my little tin. I got to clean that up, but I'm going to keep it in there. So I think I made it right. Let's just even out these patches. I'm going to just do on the stove. I'm going to heat it up, and I'm going to try and keep it warm for 10 or 15 minutes. But I'm not going to keep the heat on that long. I'm just going to heat it up for a few seconds at a time, and let it even out. So what do you think? Did I do it right? Let me know in the comments below, because like I say, I've never done it before. Was that stuff before wax or not? And if you think I did it right, give me a thumbs up, and if you think I did it wrong, well, I guess you can give me a thumbs down. But most importantly, let me know what I did wrong in the comments below, so that other people either don't make the same mistake, or maybe if I did it right, then they can follow this video, because I don't think I saw anybody else on YouTube do this recipe. Alright? So comment, thumbs up if I got it right, Thumbs down if I got it wrong. I will see you on the range.